Hello everyone, this is a brief overview of the NLTK Spark near real-time text analysis project that we did. And I would directly start off with the agenda. So we will look at a little background into what problem I'm solving, what are the technologies I'm using, how I'm doing it, and like I'm doing data streaming, so how we are doing it. Then I'm doing a little bit of sentimental analysis, so I'm using NLP, Stanford NLP package for that, so we'll go a little bit into that. And then to end, we would look at how we are persisting this data into Elasticsearch and visualizing in Kibana. So to give a little background as to why this choice of project. So um, I have seen that, interacting with small business owners, I've seen that they've faced various issues. They are small business owners, they don't have as many resources as bigger companies to be able to do take care of their everyday business processes like accounting, inventory, packaging, multiple problems that they face every single day. Now, there are companies which try to help these small business owners so that they are able to do their work more effectively and can save in the process and invest more into their business, invest more time into their business rather than these business processes. So to be able to analyze what is the problem these guys are facing. Um, Usually, companies do follow me homes where they talk to these small business owners and they try to understand what problems they're facing. This process is very insightful, but at the same time, it's very time and resource intensive because somebody has to go talk to the business owner, and the business owner has to find the time to talk to them. So it's a very time and resource oriented, consuming process. So what is a better way to automate this? So we have seen a lot of these small business owners, they promote their businesses through Twitter. And while they're on Twitter, they also project their frustrations or their, um, emotions or what are their needs in terms of hashtags and text on Twitter. So we are going to kind of analyze these tweets to be able to gain insights from them in order to be able to better help them do their work. And this is something that the companies can use instead of these follow me homes, which will also give them a more real time, um, um, you know, insight into what these small business owners are thinking and what challenges they're facing. So we will be using Twitter as the data source. Now we will be extracting this data in this Twitter stream data using Spark, and we will be doing sentimental analysis on it using Stanford NLP packages. We'll also do a little bit of post-processing after consuming this stream because, for instance, we get the geolocation from Twitter or the date from Twitter, which is not very easily visualized in Kibana, so we'll have to do some post-processing on top of it. Um, so in order to be able to see this in Kibana, we have to persist this into Elasticsearch. So how do we persist it into Elasticsearch? A little bit more about that. So first, if we talk about now we come to the annotators. So these annotators, this is a little bit of background into the Spark, the Stanford NLP package, and how we choose the annotators so that we are able to do the sentimental analysis. So there are the various annotators that we use are tokenizers. We've heard all these terms when the professor was telling us about NLP, that how the stream or the text stream that is coming in is tokenized into various words, and then those words are the stream of words are then split into sentences, which are, and then we do part of speech tagging to see, okay, what are the nouns here, what are the adjectives here. We try to do the lemmatization, so we know that which are words like, words like organization, organizing, they are similar words. So what are these similar words which can go together and they can be discovered together? And then we parse them um, using RNN, and then that is kind of used for the sentimental analysis. So we'll see that in the later slide. So there's a little bit of detail about Stanford NLP. Their packages are very easy to use, especially because I use Spark. It was hard for me to use NLTK, which is more compatible with Python, so I use Spark. With Scala, and NLP package helped me there. So I used the Stanford NLP package. This is exactly what the library provides. Um, so this is a little bit of the application review. So I've broken it down into four parts, like I was telling you before. I stream the data from Twitter for a small business category. I do a little bit of processing, sentimental analysis. I persist it into Elasticsearch, so then I can visualize it in Kibana. So it's that. Now, coming to stream data processing. Um, so the way that we stream this data is Spark can consume data from Twitter. So if I go here, this is my Scala code. So you can see that these are the various libraries that I have used. And the Spark streaming Twitter library is what helps me um, stream this data from Twitter. So you can see that I have my so you can see that I'm setting up this Twitter utils dot create stream, which is coming from this library. So going back to where we were, so these are the various, this is all part of the tweet that we get from Twitter. These are the various fields, and then we're extracting these fields to be able to see what is based on what we need for our analysis, pretty much. So, like I need the location to be able to do a regional analysis in Kibana, so I extract this location tag, location field, and then I have to do a little bit of processing to extract the latitude and longitude from here, because the way that you see a location in Kibana is as a geopoint object, and for that you need the latitude and longitude. And then I extract the text and I do the sentimental analysis on it using this NLP utils package, which kind of everything that we talked about, that it's creating this tree, and based on the tree, this is where the lemmatization, everything is happening, the tokenization, split, the you know POS, lemmatization, parsing, and sentiment. We are providing these annotations, so it is kind of tokenizing into words, and then it is splitting it into a sentence, and then it's finding the what's a verb, what's a noun, and just finding that using POS. It's doing lemmatization to find similar kind of words or the canonical term. And then it's parsing it so that we can extract the sentiment from it. And then it's using, you can see it's using RNN for it. So the RNN core annotations. So it is using that, and then what it sends out is actually a score. And then these scores, we have kind of, changed them into what is the sentiment there, so it's more easily readable. So going back, so here I say that, this is part of the code that I had there. So this is just explaining that. And this slide tells how Spark streaming works. We all know that, the Spark streams, they come in as these streams. I'm using these streams here, which are like mini batches. And then once the post-processing is done on those RDDs, I use the RDD API to be able to do map functions on them. And then they are persistent into Elasticsearch. So if you go here again, you will see that I'm able to do like map functions like on RDD. So from the stream, I get the RDD, I do the map function, I do a little bit of processing, and then I save to ES. So this save to ES is nothing but it is a library which I use again from the Apache Bahir. Trying to see where it is. So you can see this is a library which is provided, and then I use it to be able to write to Elasticsearch. So once it is written to Elasticsearch, let's now run the program and see how it works. So you can see it is already starting to get tweets. Those are the tweets that it's getting. And I'm only ingesting stuff that is related to small business. And once the tweets start coming in, we can start looking at Kibana. So these are some of the visualizations that I had built before. And then if we go and we want to see what is the sentimental analysis, for instance. So this sentimental analysis I have injected this data into Elasticsearch, and based on that, this is a visualization that I built using a pie chart. So this kind of tells you what are the positive sentiments, what are the negative sentiments, and what's neutral. And then this is a correlation between, okay, what are the hashtags that correlate to this sentiment? Which tells you that, okay, if accounting is a negative sentiment, that means accounting is a pain, and that is something that we need to look at. Okay, so going back to this slide, I think I ran ahead of the slides that I was showing. So this is where I create the mapping. So, Kibana has a good developer interface. So here I kind of, sorry, I have too much. So this is the mapping. This is the index that I created where I'm writing. So you can see the same index in my code in here. So if you go to my code, this is the same index, and this is the type. So it is writing here. And then all my visualizations are built on top of that index. So if I go here, you can actually look at the actual data, which is helpful to see. It will take some time to come. Okay, it's here. So it shows you that all this data that, so if I query by small business, it's going to show me a lot of insightful, I have to put it inside quotes. So it shows me some of the insightful, like I can go and see if something is negative, why is that negative? So I can look at the actual data in here. And so based on that, I built some visualizations here. You can see this is the pie chart visualization. And the way I build this visualization is I have saved this query, which is a query where I use small business and various terms that I use small business to look up with. So this query is helping me kind of narrow down into exactly small business specific um, tweets that I can look at. So I ingest small business specific, and this is a little bit more um, using hashtags that I know or texts that I know are related to small business. And so I use this in my, so if you go here into this tag cloud, so this tag cloud is telling you what is hot with respect to small business, right? And you can see a lot of eye-opening stuff here. So we know that automation, that accounting might be a problem which is related to small businesses, but marketing tips is something that is related to, but there is a lot of other stuff here too, which like Dreamforce, that is something that small business owners are talking about, and QuickBooks, which is an Intuit product which small business owners are talking about, which they use for their various accounting and inventory needs. So this kinds of, and then you can kind of see that they use QuickBooks for payroll. So this kind of, you're able to correlate, and you can see where QuickBooks provides the service and where else it can provide it. So this is a really helpful way to visualize the needs of small businesses, so companies can use it. So here I'm looking at a dashboard, and this dashboard is kind of bringing those visualizations together. So this one we saw, this is the pie chart, this is the tag cloud, and you can also see that there's Amazon in here. So definitely small business owners are either thinking of selling their stuff on Amazon or treating it as a competition, or something around that. So that would need more analysis. Um, so here we see where these tweets are coming from. So this is like a regional analysis, and this is where I had to extract the lat long, because to be able to do this regional analysis, if you want to go and see the tweets per region, then it needs geo coordinates, and this is a geo point object which takes the location, and this location is exactly what we are sending in here. So this is how we are kind of getting the data, streaming it real time, and seeing the impact and insights from that data um, real time, which is very effective in getting insights into what small businesses need, what they're talking about, what's affecting them, and what they can make use of to be more productive. And companies which cater to small business can make use of that information. That's it from me. It was great learning about all these various technologies in the course, which I am able to use now. Kibana is an addition which I made um, because it helps me visualize in a very effective way and find insights very quickly. So thanks for listening in, and that's it for now. Thank you.